Let me ask you a question, everyday hero. If Warren Buffett called you today and said, I'll give you every dollar I own, but in exchange, I want your age. I'll give you every dollar I own, but in exchange, I want your age. Would you take that deal?
You're listening to the Akinfemi Onadele Show, where we believe in today's fast-paced world, investing in your overall well-being is the most important decision you can make. Join us alongside a variety of guests as we discuss topics empowering you to become the best version of yourself. Enjoy.
We're living in peculiar times. Between rising inflation and the pressure to perform, it's so easy to let anxiety take the driver's seat. I know the feeling. When you're carrying every goal, every worry, and every to-do only in your head. But here's the truth. Even when you feel like you've messed up, it is not the end of the world. That is exactly why I created the LDP bracelet. It's more than inspiration jewelry. It's a tool to center yourself. It's a stylish reminder that stays on you and with you at all times, moving the commitment to learning, doing, and progressing from just a thought in your mind to a physical weight on your wrist. We only have 28 pieces available in this limited run. If you need a physical anchor to keep you pushing through these times, go to the link in the show notes right below. Stop carrying it all in your head. Start wearing your progress.
Let me ask you a question, everyday hero. If Warren Buffett called you today and said, I'll give you every dollar I own, but in exchange, I want your age. I'll give you every dollar I own, but in exchange, I want your age. Would you take that deal? Most people would not even hesitate. They'll say, yes, of course, we understand. Billions of dollars. Financial freedom. Generational wealth. I mean, who wouldn't? But here's the twist. Warren Buffett would probably make the opposite trade in a heartbeat. Because no matter how much money you accumulate, there's one thing you can never buy back. And if you've been listening to previous episodes, you know that answer. Time. Every billionaire on earth is spending exactly the same currency as you and I are. Seconds. And unlike money, once you spend a second, it never comes back. Which raises a fascinating question. What if, dear listener, what if, sir, what if, ma, you've been richer than you think all along? What if your greatest wealth was never sitting in your bank account, but quietly sitting inside your calendar? Today I want to challenge one of the biggest lies you've been taught. I'm also guilty of this. The lie that you are behind. The lie that everyone else is winning. The lie that your value can be measured only by your salary, your title, your followers, or your net worth. Because at the end of today's conversation, I hope you see something that's completely different. I hope you realize that you're already a time billionaire. Before you dismiss this idea as another motivational presentation, let me ask you something. How do you know if you're winning at life? How do you know if you're winning at life? How do you know? Seriously. What's your scoreboard? How do you measure? Is it your salary? Is it your job title? Is it the number of followers that you have on Instagram, TikTok? Or maybe it's the size of your house? The car you drive, maybe? Or maybe it's your age. By 30, I should have 2 cars, 1 G-Wagon. By 35, I should own a house in Ikoyi and one in London. By 40, of course by 40, an apartment in Knightsbridge. We all have these invisible scoreboards. The problem isn't that we have them. That's not the problem. The problem, everyday hero, is that most of us never even chose them. Somehow along the way, society handed us a scoreboard. And we've been competing on it ever since. Every morning we wake up, check Instagram, compare ourselves to someone else. Does that sound familiar? Feel like we're behind, and then the rest of the day, we're just trying to catch up to a race that we never consciously entered. Now let's think about that. Because if somebody gave us the wrong map, will running faster help us get to where we need to go? No, you simply get lost. Maybe you get lost more efficiently. But jokes aside, and I wonder, how many of us have gotten incredibly successful at chasing someone else's definition of success? That's why some people achieve everything they pray for and still feel empty. Not because they failed, but because they climbed the wrong mountain. So what if the problem isn't that you're behind? What if you're simply using the wrong scoreboard? Ladies and gentlemen, this very question has changed the way I think about success. Since I've come across the idea in Sahil Bloom's book, The 5 Types of Wealth. Sahil Bloom is an investor and an author. That we become obsessed with measuring financial wealth while ignoring an even rarer form of wealth, time wealth. Here are my notes from his book, The 5 Types of Wealth. Do enjoy. 1 million seconds is roughly 11 days. 1 billion seconds is roughly 31.7 years. If you're 20 years old, you have about 2 billion seconds left in your life, assuming you live till 80. Even if you're in your late 40s or 50s, you still have about 1 billion seconds left. When you're young, you are literally rich with time. Yet most people blindly trade this massive fortune away for traditional financial wealth without even realizing its true value. When I asked Duncan what sparked the thinking behind the term, he replied that it came to him through the hundreds of interviews he had conducted with young analysts who applied to his firm over the years. It struck me how they all had this hidden assumption that if they could just make $1 billion, then they'd be happy. I used to have that assumption too. But then I had the realization that if you went to Warren Buffett and asked him whether he'd trade $1 billion for 1 billion seconds, he'd take the time over the money. Would you trade lives with Warren Buffett? He has a net worth of approximately $130 billion, access to anyone in the world, and he spends his days reading and learning. That all sounds great, and yet I'm willing to bet that very few of you would agree to trade lives with him. Why not? Warren Buffett is, at the time of this writing, 94 years old. Doesn't matter how much money, fame, or access he has, you probably wouldn't agree to trade your remaining time for this. On the flip side, as Graham Duncan pointed out, there's a decent chance that Buffett would trade all his billions of dollars to have your time. This brings a paradox to the surface, one I call the paradox of time. You're subconsciously aware of the immense value of your time, but you regularly and consciously take actions that disregard that value. In his On the Shortness of Life, Seneca wrote, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short. And we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it." The goal is to bring to the surface the awareness of the precious nature of the time that you do have. Without this awareness, you will never value time enough until suddenly, at the very end, it will become all that you value. So here's the question. If deep down we all know that our time is our most valuable asset, why do we keep using it like it's our cheapest asset? Why do we spend hours scrolling? Still did it a few times this week. Matter of fact, I still did it while preparing for this episode. Like I'm in between preparing for the episode, all of a sudden then I feel stuck or not clear about the next thing to do, and all of a sudden I picked up my phone and I have the urge. Well, thank God that we're going through this process, because that reminds me that, okay, wait, you can surf the urge, postpone it by 10 minutes, or allow yourself take that break when you're having your lunch, which is what I did today. I struggle. Why do we spend hours scrolling, but we say we don't have time to call our parents? Why do we spend years chasing promotions? Why do we postpone things? It's crazy. So we spend years chasing promotions, and while you spend all that time chasing promotions, you are postponing the very life that we wanted the promotion to fund. Why do we sacrifice our health trying to build our wealth, only to spend our wealth trying to recover our health? Why? Because we have a scoreboard problem, ladies and gentlemen. Somewhere along the journey, we started measuring the wrong things. We measured income instead of impact, followers instead of friendships, productivity instead of presence, achievement instead of alignment, achievement instead of alignment. And in this season that is about soul alignment, we have the opportunity to fix this. We are guilty of celebrating being busy as if automatically busy means meaningful. It doesn't. You can climb the ladder only to discover it was laying against the wrong wall. You can become incredibly efficient at building a life you actually do not want. And that's the danger of using someone else's scoreboard. Because if you're measuring the wrong thing, you spend your whole life winning and you still feel like you're losing. Maybe you're not behind. Maybe you're just keeping score using someone else's rules. And that's exactly why I want you to hear this next perspective. Because one of the biggest traps of the wrong scoreboard is perfection. The belief that unless everything is perfect, you really haven't started. Listen to what Coach Dan had to say.
Looking back in time in my life, because I wanted to be a perfectionist, and for that reason I made so many mistakes. I failed in so many aspects. I didn't get things right, and whenever I see people getting things right, getting themselves fixed up, then I feel a sense of backwardness in my life. I feel sad, feel not happy. Then I realized that most times it's not about being perfect. It's not even about how many times I fail or how many mistakes I make. It's about how many times I keep trying to keep it the best version of myself. So if I could tell someone who feels behind in life one thing, I would say this: you are not behind. You're on your own path. Stay consistent, trust the process, and don't let comparison steal your joy. Your breakthrough can come when you least expect it. So stay focused.
I love what Coach Dan says here, because perfection isn't just the enemy of progress. It's one of the biggest thieves of time. I mean, just think about how many dreams have been delayed, not because of our lack of talent, but because we were just waiting for that perfect moment, for the perfect job, perfect amount of money, etc. Or even like the perfect plan, right? Or perfect versions of ourselves. And this podcast is about helping become the best version of yourself, but not perfect. Perfection is always a trap. So every day you spend waiting for everything to line up, i.e. perfection, is one less day you'll never get back. Your billion seconds aren't sitting in a savings account. They're disappearing 1 second at a time. That's why the wrong scoreboard is dangerous. That wrong scoreboard will convince you, everyday hero, that your life starts after something happens, such as after a promotion, or after a wedding, after the children, after the business succeeds, after you finally arrive. But what if this is your life? It's your life. It's not a rehearsal, it's not a warm-up, it's not a trailer like in a movie. This, right now. And yet there's another scoreboard that's just as destructive, one that affects almost every single one of us. It's the scoreboard of comparison. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to feel behind until you remember you're reading someone else's story? Different people, different gifts, different opportunities, different assignments, different timing. and yet we insist on comparing chapters. Let's listen to Coach Easy explain this beautifully.
I remember there was a time in my life I will use the word depressed. Very, very depressed. That's even Mr. Femi here was aware of that then. So, and what was the reason I was depressed was the fact that I felt like I was behind. I haven't done much with my life, and I'm looking at my friends from school. Many of them are like maybe probably graduating from the universities, doing other things. I'm working, posting on status of their achievements and stuff like that. And I look to myself, I'll be like, but then the mistake I was doing then was that I was not just looking at my own plan. Actually, people have different goals in life. Your goal might be a very easy one that you can just achieve within 2-3 months, and you are contented with it. That was I realized. My dream was a very big one, whereby it's not something that is easy for anybody to accomplish. It takes time. And I realized, he gave me, after he talked to me and gave me some advice, it made me realize that sometimes when you have dreams, check around, look for mentors, look for people who have followed that path to know how it went, if it's simple, if it's that easy or not. So, and I did so, and I realized that people that have done that path, like my dream, follow that kind of dream I'm dreaming of, I looked at it. So it wasn't like something of like a year or 2 years. It took time, you understand? And eventually they achieved it, but it wasn't that easy. And I realized that I myself, I was even very young compared to them. Like, I have a lot of time for me to achieve that. And when that time comes, it's usually like, you feel like, whoa. So actually this is like great, even greater than what you've been comparing yourself, your life to, with others who are contented. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that maybe other people's dream are not important. People's dream are different. Your dream might be greater than somebody's dream, depend on your level of contentment. My dream might not be as great as yours, but I'm contented with what I achieve, and that is my limit. So you might want to achieve yours be greater, and it take you more time. So focus on your dream and don't compare. Don't think you are behind. Your dream might take much time because it's greater than other person's dream.
Isn't that freeing? Imagine how much peace we'd have if we stopped measuring our lives against people we were never meant to become. The truth is, you can't compare callings. It's a waste of time. You can't compare seasons. Another waste of time. You can't compare assignments. A seed isn't behind because it doesn't look like a tree. A sunrise isn't late because it didn't happen at midnight. Everything that is beautiful unfolds in His own time. That's why God is the greatest designer. He makes all things beautiful, beautiful for me. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe the reason you feel behind isn't because God has forgotten you. Maybe you've simply been looking sideways instead of looking forward. And the moment you stop comparing, something incredible happens. You stop trying to impress people and you start paying attention to the life you're actually living. That's the beginning of time wealth. Not having more hours, but finally becoming present in the ones you've already been given. Which reminds me of a film that captured these ideas beautifully. It was a really nice film. I decided for today's What We Watch, I watched a Nigerian movie. Yeah, this is a good one. Today's What We Watch, I talk about When Love Strikes. It's a Nigerian romantic drama. The director's name is Kayode Kasom. I enjoyed this movie. So what's the vibe? It's about a young footballer. I don't remember his name, but you've probably seen him in some of the new stuff. Really tall, handsome chap. And he's torn between pursuing his dream and meeting his family's expectations. And of course, so you see all the things he has to navigate along the way, which include love, ambition, identity. I love the quality of the movie. It's very crisp, very high quality filming. I really like it. All the main things of the movie, purpose versus expectations, which lends itself to Time Wolf, isn't it? Following your own path as well. Sacrifice and love. Family pressure. Any Nigerian that does not resonate with family pressure, I don't even know. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And of course, your dreams and perseverance in achieving those dreams. So I recommend this movie. I would rate it a 7 out of 10. Why? Because surprisingly, I felt quite emotional. Of course, it's romance, so sometimes you're like, it's not working. Like my son says. But I did enjoy the movie. It gave me hope. I really could tell that I love the use of sponsorships. I don't watch Nigerian football, but I could tell that the club that he represented was a real club. Looking at their facilities, it was amazing. I love how we put some of our real stars and things that are working for us in the movie. So that was well represented. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good script. I thought the acting was great. One of my favorite Nigerian actors was the what's his name? Osas. Yeah, Osas. Always murking things. The main character's mom, she's a very talented actress as well. All in all, really well done. Movie was directed by Adeoluwa Owu. Right, so he's also, so shout out to Adeoluwa Owu, shout out to Kaede Kasam, shout out to the whole team. Came out in 2024. So if you like Nigerian movies, you should definitely give this one a go. For sure. Yeah, I like the fact also it lends itself to Time Wolf, because I think subconsciously I wanted to recommend a movie that would fit the theme of Time Wolf. So yeah, I'm happy that this one does. So the last line I would say in this section is Time Wolf isn't about having more time, because I'm not giving away spoilers. It's about spending your time on a life that's truly yours. So if you're into Nigerian movies, if you're into sports, if you have hope that Nigeria is going to be great one day, yeah, you should check this out. It's good vibes. Everyday heroes, I'd like us to do something together. And no, I don't want you to do it in your head. Or I'll put it off to another day. No, let's do it right now. If you're driving, you can just listen, okay? But if you're somewhere where you can, I want you to open your calculator on your phone or your AI. Ready? Okay, so let's start with your age. Think about your age. Now think about the age you hope to live to. 80, 90, 100. I think based on my anniversary, which was a couple of days ago, shout out to Wifey for Lifey. She said she wants us to live for 96 more years. So, considering that I'm 40 is already calling my phone. So I guess you can do the math. Okay. So getting back to it. Say, so you want to live to 80, you want to live to 90, you want to live to 100. Subtract your current age from the age you hope to live to. And that gives you the remaining years. Please, it's just an estimate. It's not a prophecy. Don't let's be superstitious right now. You know I'm good for a joke, ladies and gentlemen. But no, just stick with me. Now, we want to calculate. So we have an idea of the remaining years, if you've done this math with me so far. Now, we want to multiply those years by 365. That gives us what? Your remaining days. Now, multiply by 24. That gives us your what? Your remaining hours. Then by 60. That gives us what? Your remaining minutes. And finally, again by 60. And that gives us your remaining seconds. Now you have that number. I want you to sit with that number for a moment. That number is more valuable than any bank account you ever have. Because if someone offered you another 100 million naira but took away 10 years of your life, most of us would not accept the deal. Which means you've already known. You've always known. You knew that time is worth more than money. You haven't just been living like it. Every "I'll do it later," every conversation postponed, every dream delayed, every time you're supposed to hang with your parents or call them and you didn't, every person you've taken for granted, even outside family, every relationship, opportunity, every day you lived on autopilot comes out of that number you just calculated. Not tomorrow's, today's, because every second you spend is the one you'll never earn back. Maybe for the first time, everyday hero, you can just see how wealthy you already are. Not because of what's in your account, but because of what's still ahead of you. You are a time billionaire. But here's the problem. Knowing you're wealthy doesn't automatically mean that you spend that wealth wisely. And that's exactly the question episode 16 exists to answer. So next week, we're not just talking about getting more time. We're talking about designing a life that's worthy of the time you already have. If today's conversation has done anything, I hope it hasn't made you anxious. I hope it has made you aware. Awareness isn't something to fear, it's something to celebrate. Because you see, the greatest tragedy isn't realizing you wasted time. Your greatest tragedy is never realizing it at all. The fact that you're listening to this today means that you have something incredibly precious. You have choice. You still get to choose how you spend this afternoon, how you spend tomorrow, who you call, what you build, what you stop chasing, what you finally start. Ladies and gentlemen, your future isn't created by wishing for more time. It's created by becoming a better steward of the time you've already been given. My fellow time billionaire. That's why I don't believe time wealth is about productivity. It's about stewardship. It's about making sure your calendar reflects your values and that your days reflect your priorities, for sure. And that when you get to the end of your life, you don't just leave behind wealth. You leave behind a life well lived. But know your time is valuable is only half the journey. The harder question is this: what do you actually do tomorrow morning? How do you design your life where your calendar matches your calling? Where your priorities reflect what matters most? Where success isn't measured by everyone else's scoreboard, but by the life God has uniquely called you to live. And that's where we're going next, because in our final episode of the season, we're going to design what I call the 8th day. Well, I didn't coin it, but hear me about it. A life built not around endless busyness, but intentionality. A life that is not just about chasing more. It shouldn't be about chasing more, but about living with enough. A life that's not about managing time, but about honoring that you have. If today's episode challenged the way you think about time, don't let it end here. Share. Take the second audit to someone you love. Have the conversation. Remember, I did this episode 11 with my team, and it sparked for such a wonderful, heartfelt conversation. If you're into that kind of stuff, or if you just want to drop some gems for someone, we're all about it. Ask each other, if our remaining time is our greatest wealth, are we spending it wisely? And if you're ready to begin putting these ideas into practice, we've created 2 resources for you: the LDP bracelet, a daily reminder to keep you learning, L, doing, D, and progressing, P. And of course, the Time Wealth Toolkit is designed to help you move from awareness to intentional action. You find details in the description below. Final thing we'll say here from us at TAOS: remember, the richest person isn't the one with the most money, it's the one who spends their time on what matters most. See you in the final episode. And as always, peace and life's richest blessings. Take care of yourself.
Thanks for listening to the Akinfemi Onadele Show. Check out www.akinfemionadele.com for more info, articles, and ideas about how to boost your well-being.